"You're clumsy," she whispers to herself, rehearsing the lie. "You walked into a cabinet door. You're just clumsy." The bruises bloom purple and yellow across Josie's throat like poisonous flowers, and she knows the concealer won't cover them. Not completely. She dabs the makeup sponge against her skin with shaking fingers, wincing at the tenderness, watching herself in the cracked bathroom mirror of the diner's employee restroom. The fluorescent light flickers overhead, casting her reflection in intermittent shadows. But her eyes, those don't lie. They're hollow, frightened things that dart toward the bathroom door every few seconds, expecting it to burst open. Expecting Derek's voice, sharp and demanding. Expecting his hand on her wrist, his breath hot against her ear as he reminds her that she embarrassed him last night at his brother's poker game, that she smiled too much at the wrong person, that she needs to learn. The door does swing open, but it's only Patty, the other evening waitress, her weathered face creasing with concern. "Honey, your tables are filling up. You okay in here?" "Fine." Josie forces brightness into her voice, the way she's learned to do. "Just touching up. Before we continue, please prove my mom wrong. She says I can't hit 1,000 subscribers." "Okay, let's continue." Patty's gaze drops to Josie's neck. Her lips thin, but she doesn't say anything. No one ever does. In this small town, Derek Halloway's family owns half the businesses on Main Street. His uncle is the sheriff. His cousin runs the bank. Speaking up means losing your job, your home, your place in the careful ecosystem of who matters and who doesn't. Josie doesn't matter. She knows this. She smooths down her uniform, a pink dress that's seen better decades, and follows Patty back into the clatter and grease scent of Rosie's diner. It's a Thursday night in November, cold enough that frost edges the windows, and the dinner rush is modest. Truckers mostly passing through on their way to somewhere better. Families grabbing burgers before high school basketball games. The occasional stranger, like the man in booth 7. Josie notices him immediately, the way you notice a wolf in a room full of dogs. He sits alone, utterly still, reading a book with a leather cover so old it might crumble to dust. Everything about him is dark. His hair, his clothes, the air that seems to gather around him like a personal storm. He wears a suit, expensive and perfectly tailored, completely out of place in this diner where the vinyl booths are held together with duct tape, but it's his face that stops her. Angles sharp enough to cut, pale skin that hasn't seen sun in what must be years, and eyes that lift from his book to meet hers across the room with such sudden intensity that she nearly drops her order pad. Those eyes, silver gray, like moonlight on steel. "Table 7's yours," Patty mutters, nudging her. "Good luck with that one. Been sitting there an hour nursing one coffee. Hasn't said a word." Josie's legs feel unsteady as she approaches. She touches her neck self-consciously, tugging at her collar. The man's gaze doesn't waver. He watches her walk toward him with the focused attention of someone reading a book he can't put down. "Hi there." Her voice comes out smaller than intended. "Can I get you anything else?" He closes his book slowly, deliberately, one long-fingered hand resting on the cover. When he speaks, his voice is like smoke and velvet textured and dark. "What happened to your neck?" The question hits her like cold water. No preamble, no polite pretending not to notice. Nothing. I'm fine. Can I get you?" "You're not fine." He says it quietly, but there's something underneath the words, something that sounds like fury held on a very tight leash. "Someone hurt you." Josie's hand flies to her throat, covering the bruises. Heat floods her cheeks. "It's really none of your business, sir. Now if you'd like to order..." "Sit down." "Excuse me?" "Please." He gestures to the seat across from him. "Sit down." Just for a moment. Every instinct screams at her to walk away. She doesn't know this man. He could be anyone, anything. But there's something in his face. Not pity, which she couldn't bear, but recognition. As if he's seen this before, as if he knows. She glances around the diner. Patty is busy with the truckers. The cook is singing off-key to the radio. No one is watching. Josie slides into the booth, perching on the edge of the seat, ready to bolt. "My name is Konstantin Revnik," he says, "and I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to." "Okay." Her heart hammers against her ribs. "The person who did this to you." His eyes drop to her neck, then back to her face. "Is he here? In this town?" She should lie. She should get up and walk away. She should do 1,000 things that aren't sitting here with a stranger who somehow sees through every wall she's built. But she's so tired. God, she's so tired of pretending. "Yes," she whispers. Konstantin nods slowly, as if she's confirmed something he already knew. "And you can't leave." "I tried once. He found me in Asheville. Brought me back. I don't have family, and his family is everywhere here. They're everyone who matters." The words tumble out before she can stop them. "I work here 6 days a week. I live in the apartment above the hardware store that his uncle owns, and I can't save enough to get out because he takes my tips half the time. Says I owe him for—" She stops, horrified at herself. "I don't know why I'm telling you this. Because you need someone to hear it." His voice is gentle now, almost kind. "How long?" 2 years. Something shifts in his expression. The fury she sensed earlier rises to the surface, cold and absolute. "What's his name?" "Why?" "Because I'm going to kill him." The words are so calm, so matter-of-fact, that for a moment Josie doesn't process them. Then she laughs, a sharp, brittle sound. "Right, sure you are." Konstantin doesn't laugh. He simply looks at her with those strange silver eyes, and Josie's smile dies. There's something in his face that's utterly serious, utterly truthful. "You're insane," she breathes. "Perhaps." He leans back against the booth. "But I'm also very old, very rich, and very dangerous. And I didn't come to this town by accident, Josie. How do you know my name?" He taps her name tag with one finger. She'd forgotten she was wearing it. "I came here looking for something," he continues. "Someone, actually. A descendant of a family I once knew. But now I think perhaps I came here for a different reason entirely." His gaze holds hers. "Tell me his name." "Derek Halloway." The name tastes like ash in her mouth. "And he'll come here tonight?" "He comes every night around 9, checks that I'm working. Makes sure I'm not talking to anyone I shouldn't be talking to." "Like you," she doesn't say. "If he sees me sitting here with you, good." Konstantin's smile is terrible, beautiful, not quite human. "I want him to." Josie stands abruptly, panic threading through her chest. "I have to get back to work. I shouldn't have. This was a mistake." "Josie." He says her name like it means something. "Trust me, just this once." Trust someone. But trust is a luxury she lost 2 years ago, the first time Derek's hand closed around her throat. She walks away from booth 7 on trembling legs, past Patty who raises an eyebrow but doesn't comment, past the kitchen where the cook is plating chicken fried steak, into the stockroom where she braces her hands against the metal shelving and tries to remember how to breathe. A stranger in an expensive suit just told her he was going to kill Derek, and the worst part, the truly terrible part, is the small, dark seed of hope that sprouted in her chest when he said it. The next 2 hours crawl past like years. Josie serves burgers and pie, refills coffee cups, wipes down tables with mechanical efficiency while her mind spins. Konstantin remains in booth 7, occasionally turning pages of his book, but mostly just watching. Watching the door, watching her. His presence is a weight she feels across the diner, heavy and strange, and somehow comforting. At 8:47, the dinner rush dwindles to a handful of stragglers. Patty is in the back counting out her register. The cook steps outside for a cigarette, and Josie is refilling the napkin dispensers when the bell above the door chimes. Derek walks in. He's handsome in that all-American way that probably fooled her once, before she learned that a pretty face can hide something rotten. Broad-shouldered, square-jawed, blonde hair carefully styled. He wears his firefighter uniform even though his shift ended hours ago, Because he likes the authority it suggests, the respect it demands. His eyes find her immediately. They always do. "Hey, baby." His voice is warm, affectionate. The voice he uses in public. "How's my girl doing?" Josie sets down the napkin holder carefully. "Fine, just finishing up." "Good, good." He walks toward her, and she fights the instinct to back away. In public, he's all smiles and gentle touches. It's only later, when they're alone, that the mask comes off. "Thought I'd give you a ride home tonight. It's cold out." "I can walk. It's only 2 blocks. Don't be silly." His hand lands on her lower back, possessive. "What kind of boyfriend would I be if I let you walk in the cold?" "The kind who leaves bruises," she thinks. "The kind who broke my phone so I can't call for help. The kind who tells me I'm lucky anyone wants me at all. Actually, the lady is with me." Both Josie and Derek turn. Constantine has risen from his booth and now stands a few feet away, utterly relaxed, hands in his pockets. Up close, he's taller than Derek, leaner, but there's something about the way he carries himself that suggests coiled strength. A predator in repose. Derek's expression darkens. "The hell are you?" "A friend." Constantine's smile doesn't reach his eyes. "And I believe Josie would prefer not to accept your offer of a ride. Isn't that right, Josie?" Her mouth goes dry. This is it. The moment where everything gets worse. Derek's jaw clenches, that familiar tick that precedes violence. His hand on her back tightens. "Josie and I are together," Derek says slowly, as if speaking to a child. "So, why don't you mind your own business and get the hell out of my town before..." "Before what?" Constantine takes a step closer. "Before you put your hands on me the way you've been putting your hands on her?" His gaze drops to Josie's neck, and his voice goes cold as winter. "Those bruises are what, 3 days old? 4? You have a pattern, don't you, Derek? When she makes you angry. When she forgets her place." Derek's face flushes red. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Don't I?" Constantine tilts his head. "I know you've been terrorizing this woman for 2 years. I know your family protects you. I know you think you're untouchable." He pauses. "You're not. Get out." Derek releases Josie and takes a step toward Constantine. "Get out now, or I'm calling my uncle." "The sheriff?" Constantine's laugh is dark. "Please do. I'd love to meet him." Josie watches this exchange in frozen horror. She should do something, say something, but her voice has locked in her throat. The diner has gone silent. The remaining customers watch with wide eyes. Patty has emerged from the back, her hand over her mouth. Derek's fist swings fast, a brutal hook aimed at Constantine's jaw. Constantine catches it. Simply reaches up and catches Derek's fist mid-swing, his fingers closing around Derek's knuckles with casual strength. "Interesting choice," Constantine murmurs. "Assault. In front of witnesses." He releases Derek's hand and brushes imaginary dust from his sleeve. "But then, you're used to getting away with it, aren't you?" "I'm going to destroy you." Derek's voice shakes with rage. "Do you know who I am? Who my family is?" "I know exactly who you are, Derek Halloway. Son of James, nephew of Sheriff Thomas Halloway, cousin to bank manager Preston Halloway." Constantine recites the names like reading from a list. "I've spent the afternoon learning everything about your family. And I've decided I don't like them very much. You're some kind of freak." Derek looks at Josie. "Get your things. We're leaving. Now." Josie doesn't move. For the first time in 2 years, when Derek gives an order, she doesn't obey. She stands frozen, caught between terror and a wild, reckless hope. Constantine steps between them. "She's not going anywhere with you. Not tonight. Not ever again." "Like hell." "Touch her again," Constantine interrupts softly, "and you'll learn what real fear feels like. I promise you that." Something in his voice makes Derek hesitate. Some primal instinct that recognizes danger even when his pride refuses to admit it. He looks at Josie, his eyes promising retribution later, when this stranger isn't watching. This isn't over, Derek says. Then he turns and storms out of the diner, the bell above the door jangling violently in his wake. Silence swallows the room. Josie realizes she's shaking, great tremors that run through her entire body. Konstantin turns to her, and his expression softens. Are you all right? You shouldn't have done that. The words come out in a rush. You don't understand what you've done. He'll come back. He'll bring his cousins, his friends. Let him. Konstantin's voice is steel wrapped in silk. Let him bring everyone he knows. It won't matter. How can you say that? How can you? Tears blur her vision. You're going to leave. You're going to get in whatever expensive car you drove here in, and you're going to leave, and I'll still be here, and he'll make me pay for every word you said. No. Konstantin reaches out slowly, giving her time to pull away, and gently takes her hand. His skin is cool, almost cold, but his touch is steady. I'm not leaving, and neither are you. I don't understand. I know, but you will. He glances at Patty, who still stands by the kitchen staring. Is there somewhere she can stay tonight? Somewhere he won't find her? Patty nods slowly. My place. He doesn't know where I live. Perfect. Konstantin looks back at Josie. Go with her. Pack what matters to you from your apartment. I'll have someone collect it safely tomorrow. Tonight you stay somewhere he can't reach you. And tomorrow? What about tomorrow? I can't hide forever. Tomorrow, Konstantin says quietly. Derek Halloway won't be a problem anymore. I give you my word. Josie wants to believe him. God, she wants to believe him so badly. But belief is dangerous. Belief gets you hurt. Still, when Patty touches her shoulder gently and says, Come on, honey, let's get you out of here, Josie follows. She lets Patty lead her out the back door, into the cold November night, away from the diner and the life she's been trapped in. And as they drive away in Patty's old sedan, Josie looks back through the rear window and sees Konstantin standing in the diner's doorway, watching them go. His figure is dark against the warm light, utterly still, like a statue carved from shadows, or like something that's been waiting a very long time to wake up. Patty's apartment smells like lavender and old books. It's small, cluttered, comfortable in the way that only a space truly lived in can be. She makes Josie tea with honey, wraps her in a quilt, and doesn't ask questions. Just sits beside her on the worn sofa and holds her hand while Josie cries, really cries, for the first time in months. That man, Patty says finally, when the tears have slowed. That Konstantin. You know him? I met him tonight. He's a stranger. Some stranger. Patty's tone is thoughtful. The way he looked at Derek. I've never seen someone that calm and that furious all at once. He said he was going to kill him. Josie laughs weakly, wiping her eyes. He actually said that, like it was nothing. Maybe it is nothing. To him. Patty squeezes her hand. I've lived in this town 40 years, honey. I've watched the Halloway family run things, hurt people, get away with whatever they please, and I've never once seen anyone stand up to them like that man did tonight. She pauses. Made me think maybe there's still some justice left in the world. Or maybe he's crazy. Maybe crazy is what we need. Josie doesn't have an answer for that. She pulls the quilt tighter and stares at the wall, exhaustion pulling at her bones. Patty sets her up in the guest room, really just a converted storage space with a single bed, and Josie lies awake for hours, listening to the wind outside, expecting every sound to be Derek kicking in the door. But he doesn't come. The night passes in heavy silence, and eventually, impossibly, Josie sleeps. She wakes to sunlight streaming through the thin curtains and the smell of coffee. For a moment, she forgets where she is, why she's here. Then memory crashes back and she sits up, heart pounding. Patty appears in the doorway, already dressed. Morning. There's a man here to see you. Josie's stomach drops. Derek? No. Patty's expression is strange, almost odd. That Constantine, he's waiting in the living room, says he has news. Josie pulls on yesterday's clothes and walks out on unsteady legs. Constantine stands by the window, looking utterly out of place in Patty's modest apartment in his immaculate dark suit. He turns when she enters, and his face is unreadable. "Did you sleep?" he asks. "Some. What are you doing here?" "I told you I'd take care of the problem." He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a newspaper, still folded. "This will be on every doorstep in town by noon. I thought you should see it first." He hands her the paper. Josie unfolds it with shaking hands, and the headline makes her breath catch. Local firefighter. Derek Holloway arrested in multi-state fraud investigation. She skims the article in disbelief. Federal agents. Money laundering. The Holloway family's construction business used as a front for embezzlement. Evidence of bribery, tax evasion, connections to organized crime. Derek, his father, his uncle the sheriff, his cousin at the bank, all arrested in coordinated raids early this morning. How? Josie looks up at Constantine, stunned. How is this possible? This says the investigation has been ongoing for 6 months. It has been. I simply expedited things, made sure the right evidence reached the right people at the right time. His smile is slight, dangerous. Turns out the Holloway family has been very busy breaking federal law. They just needed someone to care enough to look. You did this overnight? I have resources. He says it simply, as if toppling a criminal dynasty is as easy as ordering coffee. Derek will be in federal custody for years, assuming he survives the trial. His family's assets are frozen. Their protection is gone. They can't hurt you anymore, Josie. They can't hurt anyone. Josie's legs give out. She sits down hard on Patty's sofa, the newspaper crumpling in her hands. I don't understand. Why would you do this? For me? You don't even know me. Constantine moves to sit across from her, his movements controlled, graceful. Do you know what I am, Josie? Rich, apparently. Powerful. Yes, both of those things. He pauses. I'm also something else, something you won't believe. Try me, after last night. I'll believe anything. He leans forward, elbows on his knees, and his eyes catch the light in a way that's distinctly not human. I'm very old, centuries old, and I'm not like you. Not anymore. Haven't been for a very long time. Josie's heart stutters. What are you saying? I think you know. His voice is soft, almost gentle. You've probably guessed already, even if you won't let yourself admit it. She thinks about his cold skin, his stillness, the way he moves like liquid shadow, the impossible things he's done in a single night. And she thinks about stories her grandmother used to tell, fairy tales and warnings, creatures that looked human, but weren't. That's impossible, she whispers. Most impossible things are simply things that haven't happened to you yet. Constantine doesn't look away. I'm telling you this because you deserve the truth, because I'm going to ask you to make a choice, and you should know what you're choosing. What choice? Come with me. Leave this town, this life. I own properties around the world, places where you'd be safe, comfortable, where you could figure out who you are without someone's hand around your throat. His expression is earnest now, almost vulnerable. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm not Derek. I can't leave you here. Not after seeing those bruises. Josie stares at him. Why do you care? You said yourself we're strangers? We are, but I've lived a long time, Josie. I've seen a lot of cruelty, a lot of suffering. Most of it I can't fix. But this, I can fix this. So let me. You want to save me. I want to give you a choice. That's all. Freedom to choose what happens next. He stands, sliding his hands into his pockets. I have a car outside. I'm driving to my estate in Virginia. There's a guest house on the property, completely private, fully furnished. Stay there as long as you want. A week, a month, a year. Or come for a day and then leave if you prefer. I'm not asking you to trust me completely. I'm just asking you to trust me enough to get out of here. Patty, who's been standing in the kitchen doorway listening, speaks up. Honey, I think you should go. Josie looks at her in surprise. Patty, I know it sounds crazy. Hell, it is crazy. But this town will never let you breathe free, even with Derek gone. There are too many memories here. Too many people who'll treat you like damaged goods. Patty's eyes are bright with unshed tears. I've watched you shrink for 2 years, trying to make yourself small enough not to get hit. Go somewhere you can grow again. I don't even know him. And maybe that's exactly why you should go. Patty crosses the room and pulls Josie into a fierce hug. Be brave, sweetie. Just this once. Josie closes her eyes. Every logical part of her brain screams that this is madness. You don't go with strangers. You don't trust men who appear out of nowhere offering salvation. You don't believe in fairy tales or monsters or impossible rescues. But then, she didn't think she'd survive 2 years with Derek either. She didn't think anyone would care enough to help. She didn't think freedom was even possible. And Constantine is still standing there, patient, waiting, not demanding, not forcing, just offering. If I come with you, she says slowly, and I don't like it, or I change my mind, or I'll bring you back myself, or send you anywhere else you want to go, with money, references, whatever you need to start over. His voice is absolutely steady. This is not a cage, Josie. I'm offering you a door. You can walk through it or not, but either way, Derek is gone. You're already free of him. Josie thinks about her apartment above the hardware store, the few possessions she owns that matter, some photos, her grandmother's necklace, books Derek never knew she had hidden. She thinks about the diner, the town, the life she's been trapped in, and she realizes there's nothing here she wants to keep. Nothing here that's hers. Okay, she whispers. Okay, I'll come with you. Constantine's face transforms. Not quite a smile, but something close to relief. Thank you. For trusting me. I don't trust you, but I don't trust staying here either, so I guess you're the better bet. I'll take it. An hour later, Josie is sitting in the passenger seat of a black Mercedes that probably costs more than she's made in her entire life. Her few belongings are in a bag in the back. Constantine had someone collect them from her apartment while she was getting ready. Patty hugged her goodbye, with tears streaming down her face and a promise to visit. And now they're driving. Out of town, past the diner where she wasted 2 years, past Derek's street where his house sits dark and empty, past the sheriff's office where federal agents still swarm like angry bees. The town shrinks in the rearview mirror, and with every mile, Josie feels something loosening in her chest. Are you really? She glances at Constantine. What you said, the thing you told me. A vampire? He says it casually, eyes on the road. Yes. That's insane. And yet, here we are. Why tell me? Why not just let me think you're some eccentric rich guy? Because I don't want lies between us, even comfortable ones. He glances at her, and because you'll figure it out eventually. I don't eat. I don't sleep the way you do. I'm cold to the touch. Better to be honest from the start. Josie processes this. So you drink blood? Yes. Human blood? Sometimes. With consent, from willing donors who are well compensated and perfectly safe. His tone is matter of fact. I'm not a monster, Josie. I don't hurt people. Not unless they hurt others first. Like Derek. Like Derek. His jaw tightens, though I didn't kill him, despite what I told you last night. I simply destroyed his life instead. More permanent that way. And the others? The title said 4 men. Derek's father, his uncle, his cousin. All complicit. All guilty. Constantine's voice goes cold. I have a particular hatred for men who abuse power, who hurt those weaker than themselves. Centuries of hatred, actually. They drive in silence for a while. The landscape changes, small town giving way to highway, flat farmland to rolling hills. Josie watches it all pass and tries to believe this is real, that she's actually leaving, that she's sitting next to something that shouldn't exist but does. "Your estate?" she says finally. "What's it like?" "Old, private, 50 acres of forest with a main house, guest house, stables. There's staff, but they're discreet. You'll have your own space, your own key. You can come and go as you please." He pauses. "There's also a library. I noticed you had books hidden under your bed. Figured you might appreciate that." Josie's throat tightens. "You notice that?" "I notice everything." He says it simply. "It's one of the benefits of being this old. You learn to see what people are trying to hide." "And what am I trying to hide?" "That you're much stronger than you believe. That you have a mind Derek tried to crush because it threatened him. That you deserve better than survival." Constantine's eyes stay on the road, but his voice is warm. "You asked me why I care. The truth? I've spent a very long time watching people suffer. Most of them I can't help. But you walked into that diner with bruises on your throat and fear in your eyes, and I thought, maybe this one. Maybe this one I can save. I'm not a charity case. No, you're not. You're someone who survived hell and came out the other side. That's not weakness, Josie. That's strength." She doesn't know what to say to that. So she doesn't say anything, just watches the road unroll ahead of them and tries to imagine what happens next. The estate appears at sunset, a sprawling Victorian manor set back from the road, surrounded by ancient oaks that whisper in the wind. The guest house sits 100 yards away, a smaller version of the main building with ivy climbing its walls and smoke curling from a chimney. "Someone started the fire for you," Constantine says, pulling up in front. "The kitchen is stocked. There's clothes in the closet if you need them, though we can shop for more tomorrow." He turns off the engine. "Take tonight to settle in. Sleep. Explore. Tomorrow we can talk about what comes next." Josie climbs out of the car on shaky legs. The air smells like wood smoke and pine, clean and cold. The guest house looks like something from a storybook, all warm light glowing from the windows. "Constantine." She turns back to him. "Why are you being so kind to me?" He's quiet for a moment, his face shadowed in the dying light. When he speaks, his voice is soft, almost sad. "Because someone was kind to me once, a very long time ago, when I was broken and thought I'd never be whole again, and I've spent centuries trying to pay that forward." "What happened to them? The person who was kind to you?" "She died, as humans do." His smile is melancholy, but I never forgot her, and I never stopped trying to honor what she gave me. Josie nods slowly. She wants to say thank you, but the words feel inadequate. So instead she says, "I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how to be anything other than afraid." "Then start by being curious. That's enough for now." Constantine hands her a key. "The door is yours, Josie. What you do with it is up to you." She takes the key, her fingers brushing his cold ones, and walks toward the guest house. At the door, she looks back once. Constantine still stands by the car, watching, patient as a mountain. She unlocks the door and steps inside. The house is beautiful. All warm wood and soft fabrics, a fire crackling in the stone hearth, shelves lined with books. There's a kitchen with copper pots, a bedroom with a 4-poster bed piled with quilts, windows that look out onto endless forest. It's perfect, and it's hers, at least for now. Josie sets down her bag and walks to the window. She can see the main house in the distance, lights beginning to glow in its windows. Constantine is there somewhere, this impossible creature who destroyed her enemies and offered her sanctuary without asking for anything in return. She touches her throat where the bruises are already fading to yellow. Soon they'll be gone completely, and maybe, the fear will fade with them. For the first time in 2 years, Josie allows herself to hope. The next 3 weeks pass like a dream. Josie explores the estate, walks in the forest, reads books from the library Constantine promised. He appears occasionally, for dinner, for conversation by the fire, but never intrudes, never demands. He's simply there, a quiet presence, if she wants company. She learns things about him. That he was turned in 1634 during a plague year, that he made his fortune in shipping, then rail, then technology, that he owns properties across 3 continents but prefers this quiet estate because it reminds him of the country where he was born. And she tells him things too. About growing up with her grandmother after her parents died, about dreaming of college but never having the money, about meeting Derek when she was vulnerable and lonely and thinking he was salvation instead of a trap. "You'll go to college now if you want," Constantine says one evening. They're in the main house library, him in a leather chair with a glass of something that isn't wine, her curled on a sofa with tea. "I've already set up an account in your name, enough for tuition, living expenses, whatever you need." Josie nearly drops her mug. "You what?" "I'm very rich, Josie, obscenely rich, and I have no heirs, no family. What's the point of money if I don't use it to help?" He shrugs. "Consider it a gift. Or if that makes you uncomfortable, consider it payment for your company these past weeks. I've enjoyed having someone to talk to. I can't accept that." "Why not?" "Because it's too much." "Says who?" Constantine leans forward. "Derek took 2 years of your life. Let me give you something back. An education, a future, the chance to be whoever you want to be." Tears burn her eyes. Why me? Of all the people in the world you could help, why me? Because you walked into that diner with bruises you tried to hide and fear you couldn't quite swallow. And I looked at you and saw someone worth saving. His voice is gentle. "Is that so hard to believe?" "Yes, actually. It is." "Then believe this instead. I'm selfish. I like your company. I like the way you argue with me about books. I like that you're not afraid of me, even though you probably should be." He smiles. "I want you to stay. To have reasons to stay. So I'm giving you those reasons." Josie sets down her tea with shaking hands. "And what do you want in return?" "Nothing you're not willing to give freely." "That's not an answer." "It's the only answer I have." Constantine stands, moving to the window. "I've lived a long time, Josie. I've had lovers, companions, friends. I've watched them all grow old and die, and I've learned that the best relationships, the ones that matter, are the ones built on choice, not obligation, not debt. Choice." He turns to look at her. "So, if you want to leave tomorrow, you can. If you want to stay and go to school and build a life here, you can. If you want something else entirely, we'll make it happen. I'm not Derek. I'm not trapping you. I'm offering you options. And if I stay," Josie says slowly, "what would that look like?" "Whatever you want it to look like." His gaze is steady. "Friends, companions, more than that, eventually, if you're interested. Or just 2 people sharing space and conversation. I'm not going to pretend I don't care for you, but I'm also not going to pressure you. You've had enough pressure for one lifetime." Josie stands, moving across the room until she's standing in front of him. Up close, his eyes are silver in the firelight, ancient and patient. "I think I'd like to stay," she says quietly, "for a while at least. And maybe see what happens." "Are you sure?" "No, but I'm not sure about anything anymore. So I might as well choose the unknown that comes with safety and kindness instead of the unknown that comes with fear." Constantine reaches out slowly and takes her hand. His skin is cool, but his touch is steady, grounding. "Then stay, as long as you want, and we'll figure out the rest as we go." Josie nods, and for the first time in years, she feels something like peace settle into her bones. 6 months later, the estate is in full spring bloom. Josie sits on the porch of the guest house, though she's been spending more nights in the main house recently, in a particular room next to a particular vampire who makes her coffee even though he can't drink it himself, and reads through her college acceptance letters. 3 universities want her. She has her pick. Constantine finds her there, in the golden afternoon light, and sits beside her on the steps. Good news? All 3 accepted me, and the local one has a great English program. She glances at him. I could commute from here, if that's okay with you. More than okay. His smile is warm, real, though you'll have to drive yourself. My car might raise questions on a college campus. The Mercedes or the vintage Aston Martin? Both, probably. She laughs, and it feels good. Natural. She's learned to laugh again over these months. Learned to take up space, to voice opinions, to exist without flinching. Constantine. She turns to him, suddenly serious. Thank you, for all of this, for saving me. You saved yourself, Josie. You're the one who chose to trust me. You're the one who chose to leave. You're the one who chose to rebuild. He brushes a strand of hair from her face, his touch gentle. I just provided a safe place to do it. Still, thank you. He kisses her forehead, soft and cool. You're welcome, though I should probably thank you too. For what? For reminding me why I do this, why I keep going, century after century. It's for moments like this, for people like you, for the chance to turn something terrible into something beautiful. Josie leans against him, and they sit together on the porch as the sun sets, painting the sky in shades of gold and rose. In the distance, she can hear birds calling, wind rustling through new leaves, the world alive and growing. And in the town she left behind, Derek Holloway sits in a federal prison, awaiting trial. His family's empire has crumbled. His power is gone. He is nothing now except a cautionary tale. By midnight, 4 men's lives were destroyed, but 1 woman's life was saved. And in the end, that's the only thing that matters. Josie touches her throat, where there are no bruises anymore, where there's only smooth skin and the memory of survival. She thinks about the girl she was 6 months ago, scared, small, trapped, and the woman she's becoming, strong, educated, free. I love you, she says quietly. She's never said it before, wasn't sure she was ready. But sitting here with Constantine in the spring twilight, she realizes it's true. He goes very still. Then he turns to her, and his eyes are bright with something that might be tears if vampires could cry. I love you too, he says, more than I thought I could still love anything. And when he kisses her, really kisses her, not the gentle pecks they've shared, but something deeper, more claiming, Josie kisses him back. She pours everything into it, gratitude and affection and trust and hope and love. All the things Derek tried to take from her, all the things she's reclaiming piece by piece. When they break apart, Constantine rests his forehead against hers. Stay with me, he whispers, for as long as you want. Forever, if you'll have me. Forever is a long time. I'm aware. I've lived most of it already. Ask me again in 50 years, Josie says, smiling. When I'm old and gray and you still look like this. I'll ask you every day for the next 50 years if you want. That seems excessive. I'm an excessive person. She laughs, and he kisses her again, and somewhere in the world, the sun finishes setting. Night falls, and in the darkness, there are no monsters except the ones they've already defeated. Josie is safe. She is loved. She is free. And 4 men who thought they were untouchable learned that some crimes don't go unpunished, that some victims find their saviors, and that sometimes the monster in the story is actually the hero. Josie is halfway through her first semester at university, carrying a stack of books across the quad toward the library, when she sees him. Derek. Her blood turns to ice. The books slip from her hands, scattering across the brick pathway. Students flow around her like water around a stone, annoyed by the obstruction, but she can't move, can't breathe, because Derek Holloway is standing 30 feet away, next to the fountain, staring directly at her. He looks different. Thinner. Harder. Prison has carved away the soft edges, revealed the predator underneath. His blonde hair is buzzed short. His clothes are cheap, ill-fitting. But his eyes, those are the same. Cold and calculating and full of barely restrained fury. Josie Callahan! He says her name like a curse, moving toward her with deliberate steps. Bet you thought you'd never see me again. Her throat closes. She tries to speak, to scream, but nothing comes out. This isn't possible. He's supposed to be in federal custody. He's supposed to be awaiting trial. He's supposed to be locked away where he can't hurt her. Surprised? Derek's smile is terrible. Good behavior. Bail. Lawyers my dear old dad hired with money he had hidden offshore. Turns out the Holloway family had more resources than your boyfriend knew about. He's close now, close enough that she can smell cigarettes and rage on him. You cost me everything. My job, my reputation, my family's business. 2 years of my life sitting in a cell thinking about what I'd do when I got out. Josie's voice finally works, comes out as a whisper. Stay away from me. Or what? You'll call your vampire? Derek laughs, harsh and bitter. Yeah, I figured it out. Took me a while, but I had a lot of time to think. That Constantine, the way he moved, the things he did, the way he destroyed my family overnight like it was nothing. Only something not human could do that. He grabs her arm, fingers digging in hard enough to bruise. Where is he now, Josie? Not here to protect you, is he? Students are starting to notice. A few slow down, watching with concern. But Derek doesn't care. He's past caring about witnesses, about consequences. She can see it in his face. He's already lost everything. He has nothing left to lose. Let go of me. Josie tries to pull away, but his grip is iron. Not a chance. We're going to take a little walk, have a conversation about everything you took from me, about how you're going to make it right. He starts pulling her toward the parking lot, and panic explodes through her chest. Help! The scream tears from her throat. Someone help me! Derek backhands her across the face, the crack of it echoing across the quad. Pain explodes through her cheek and she tastes blood. Students gasp, pull out phones. Someone yells that they're calling campus security. But Derek doesn't stop. He drags her toward a beat-up sedan parked illegally at the curb, and Josie knows with absolute certainty that if he gets her into that car, she's dead. He's going to kill her. He's going to make her suffer first, make her pay for daring to escape, and then he's going to kill her. Terror gives her strength. She twists in his grip, brings her knee up hard into his groin, the way she's practiced in the self-defense classes Constantine insisted she take. Derek doubles over with a grunt of pain, and his grip loosens just enough. She wrenches free, stumbling backward, her phone already in her hand. She hits Constantine's number. It rings once, twice, and Derek is straightening up, fury and pain warring on his face. I'm going to kill you, he snarls. Right here, right now. I don't care who sees. Josie? Constantine's voice comes through the phone, sharp with concern. What's wrong? Derek, she gasps. He's here, at the university. Derek lunges. Josie dodges, but he catches her wrist, yanking her toward him. The phone flies from her hand, skitters across the pavement. She can hear Constantine's voice, small and distant, calling her name. Then Derek's hands are around her throat, squeezing, and everything goes red at the edges. She claws at his hands, kicks, fights with everything she has. But he's stronger, bigger, driven by 2 years of rage. Should have stayed gone, Derek hisses in her face. Should have stayed hidden. But you got comfortable, didn't you? Thought you were safe. Thought your monster would always protect you. Josie's vision darkens. Her lungs scream for air. This is it, she thinks distantly. This is how it ends. Not in a diner or an apartment, but on a college campus in broad daylight because she dared to believe she could have a normal life. Then Derek's hands are suddenly gone. Air rushes back into her lungs in a painful gasp. She collapses to her knees, coughing, crying, and looks up through tears to see Constantine holding Derek by the throat, lifting him clean off the ground with one hand. Constantine's face is terrifying. Not angry, beyond anger. His eyes have gone completely silver, bright and inhuman. His lips are pulled back from his teeth, revealing fangs that definitely weren't there this morning. He looks like something from a nightmare, beautiful and deadly and absolutely merciless. "You made a mistake," Constantine says softly. Each word is precise, controlled, which makes them somehow more frightening than if he were shouting. "You had a chance. I gave you a chance. Prison, trial, a life, and you threw it away to come after her." Derek claws at Constantine's hand, his face turning purple. "Can't kill me," he chokes out. "Too many witnesses, too many cameras." "You think I care?" Constantine tilts his head. "You think there's anything in this world I value more than her safety?" His grip tightens. "I have lived for 400 years. I have toppled kingdoms, destroyed armies, outlasted empires. What are cameras to me? What are witnesses? What are laws?" He leans closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that somehow carries across the silent quad. "I am the monster in every story you were ever told, and you just made the fatal mistake of threatening the only thing I love." Campus security arrives, running across the quad with radios crackling. Behind them, Josie can hear sirens. Real police this time. Students have their phones out, recording everything. This is going to be everywhere within the hour. Video of a man in an expensive suit holding another man in the air like he weighs nothing. Video of something that shouldn't be possible. Constantine doesn't seem to care. He looks at Derek with absolute contempt, then drops him. Derek crumples to the ground, gasping and retching. Constantine turns to Josie, and his face transforms. The fury melts away, replaced by desperate concern. "Are you hurt?" He kneels beside her, hands hovering, not quite touching, as if he's afraid he might break her. "Your throat, your face. God, Josie, I'm so sorry. I should have been here. I should have been watching." "How?" Her voice is raw, broken. "How did you get here so fast?" "I drove very fast, and I may have ignored most traffic laws." He helps her stand, supporting her weight when her legs threaten to give out. "When you called, when I heard him, I've never been so afraid in my life." Campus security reaches them, shouting questions, demanding explanations. The police aren't far behind. Constantine ignores them all, gathering Josie against his chest, one hand cradling her head. "I need to get you out of here," he murmurs against her hair. "The questions, the reports, it can wait. You need a doctor." "I'm okay." She's not. She's shaking so hard her teeth chatter. But she's alive. That's more than she thought she'd be 5 minutes ago. "You're not okay. And neither am I." He pulls back enough to look at her, and his eyes are still that bright, inhuman silver. "I almost lost you. Again. Because I let him live. Because I thought destroying his life was enough punishment." "Sir." A campus security guard has his hand on Constantine's shoulder. "Sir, you need to come with us. Both of you. There are questions." Constantine turns his head, and whatever the guard sees in his face makes him step back, hand dropping away. "The man on the ground attacked this woman. There are dozens of witnesses. Cameras. I intervened to save her life. If you want statements, we'll provide them. But first, I'm taking her to a hospital. You can arrest me afterward if you like, but nothing is stopping me from making sure she's safe." The guard looks uncertain, glances at his partner, but before he can respond, an older voice cuts through the chaos. "Let them go!" Everyone turns. A woman in a dean's jacket pushes through the crowd, her face stern but not unkind. She looks at Josie, at the marks on her throat, at Derek still wheezing on the ground. Then she looks at Constantine. "Take her to the hospital. We have everything on camera. We know what happened. She pulls out a business card, hands it to Constantine. "This is my direct line. Call me when she's been treated. We'll need statements, but they can wait." Constantine takes the card with a slight nod. Then he simply lifts Josie into his arms. She makes a small sound of protest, but he ignores it and carries her toward his car. The crowd parts for them like a sea, students staring with open mouths. Phones everywhere, recording, capturing this moment that will be dissected and analyzed and discussed for months. Let them, Josie thinks, resting her head against Constantine's shoulder. Let them see. Let them know there's someone in this world who will break every rule to keep her safe. At the hospital, they discover Derek broke 2 blood vessels in her throat and fractured her cheekbone. Nothing that won't heal, the doctor assures them, but she needs rest. No talking for a few days, ice for the swelling, and they want to keep her overnight for observation. Constantine doesn't leave her side. He sits in the hospital chair, holding her hand, his thumb tracing circles on her palm. When the police come for statements, he answers their questions with calm precision. "Yes," he intervened. "Yes, he used force. Yes, he'd do it again." Derek Holloway violated his bail conditions, violated a restraining order Constantine had filed weeks ago, and attempted to murder Josie Callahan in front of 50 witnesses. What exactly are they planning to charge him with? The officers exchange glances, they take notes, they leave, promising to be in touch. Through the hospital window, Josie can see news vans gathering in the parking lot. This is going to be a story. Not just locally, nationally. Man attacks woman at university. Mysterious stranger intervenes. The footage from phones is already going viral. "Your secret," Josie whispers, though it hurts to talk. The doctor said no talking, but she needs to say this. "Everyone's going to see. Going to wonder how you did that." "I know." Constantine doesn't sound concerned. "I've been exposed before. People forget, or they rationalize, or they convince themselves it was camera tricks, adrenaline, exaggeration." He squeezes her hand. "And even if they don't, even if the whole world knows what I am, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters except that you're alive." "What about Derek?" "Derek is going back to prison. This time, I'll make sure he stays there. I'll hire lawyers to fight his bail. I'll monitor every hearing, every motion, every attempt to get out." His voice goes cold. "And if the legal system fails, if he somehow walks free again, then I'll do what I should have done the first time. I'll make him disappear, completely, permanently. No body to find, no trace left behind." Josie should be horrified. She should tell him no, that murder is wrong, that he can't just kill people. But when she looks at the determination in his face, the absolute promise, all she feels is safe. "Okay," she whispers. "Okay? If he gets out again. If he comes after me again." She swallows, wincing at the pain. "Do what you have to do. I won't stop you. I won't judge you. I can't live in fear anymore, Constantine. I can't keep waiting for him to show up." "You won't have to." He lifts her hand to his lips, kisses her knuckles gently. "I promise you. One way or another, Derek Holloway will never hurt you again." 3 days later, Josie is released from the hospital. The story has exploded across social media. Mysterious hero saves woman from attacker, displays impossible strength. Constantine's face is everywhere, grainy screenshots from phone videos. Theories run rampant. Superhuman strength, genetic mutation, performance enhancement drugs. No one seriously suggests vampire, because that would be crazy. But there are whispers. Online forums dedicated to the supernatural. Reddit threads analyzing the footage frame by frame. Someone even dug up old photos from Constantine's shipping company days, notices that he looks exactly the same as he did in photographs from 1952. Constantine handles it all with bemused patience. He gives one interview to a local news station, explains that adrenaline does incredible things, that he's simply a man who cared about someone and reacted. The interviewer eats it up. By the end of the week, the story is already fading, pushed aside by newer scandals and tragedies. Derek pleads guilty to attempted murder. His lawyer tries to argue temporary insanity, prison trauma, but the video evidence is too clear. The premeditation too obvious. He's sentenced to 25 years in a maximum security facility with no possibility of early release. The judge makes it clear that if Derek Holloway ever walks free, it will be as an old man with nothing left to threaten anyone with. Josie watches the sentencing via video call from Constantine's study. When the gavel falls, when Derek is led away in chains, she feels something unlock in her chest. Not quite peace, that will take time. But something close. The beginning of peace. The promise of it. It's over, Constantine says quietly beside her. Truly over. This time. He could still have people, Josie says. Friends, family members who want revenge. His family wants nothing to do with him. They blame him for destroying their empire. And his friends? Constantine's smile is sharp. Let's just say I've made it very clear what will happen to anyone who threatens you. I have a reputation now, thanks to the internet. Monster who protects his own. I don't mind it. Josie turns to him, studying his face in the lamplight. Are you really okay with people knowing? Suspecting? I'm 400 years old, Josie. I've been exposed and forgotten a dozen times. Humans are remarkably good at rationalizing the impossible. He pulls her into his lap, carefully, mindful of her healing injuries. But even if they figure it out, even if tomorrow every news station in the world declares that vampires are real and I'm one of them, I wouldn't change what I did, wouldn't change saving you. I love you. The words come easier now. She's said them 100 times since that spring evening, but they still feel important, still feel true. I love you too, more than I thought this old heart could still manage. He kisses her forehead, her nose, her lips, gentle, reverent. Stay with me. Not just for now, not just until you finish school. Stay with me for real. Forever, if you want it. Forever is a long time. So you keep saying. I'm still saying ask me again in 50 years. Then I'll ask you in 50 years. And 50 years after that, and 50 years after that. He grins, looking younger than he has any right to. I'm very patient. It's one of my best qualities. One of many, Josie says, and kisses him properly. 2 months later, she's back at university, walking across the same quad where Derek attacked her, but this time without fear. Students recognize her. Some stare, some whisper, but most just smile sympathetically. She's become a minor legend. The girl who survived. The girl who got saved by the mystery man. The girl who kept going. She likes that last part best. The girl who kept going. Her classes are challenging, her professors demanding. She studies literature and poetry, loses herself in words the way she used to lose herself in the hidden books under her bed. She makes friends, real friends, people who know her story and like her anyway. She joins clubs. She laughs in coffee shops. She lives. And every evening, Constantine picks her up in his Mercedes that makes everyone stare. Sometimes they go back to the estate, curl up in the library, read together in comfortable silence. Sometimes they go out, restaurants, theaters, art galleries. He introduces her to his world, the one he's built over centuries. And she shows him hers, the small joys of being young and human and alive. They're not perfect. She still has nightmares sometimes, still flinches at sudden movements, still carries pepper spray, even though Constantine would prefer she carry something more lethal. He's overprotective, struggling to let her have independence after nearly losing her twice. They argue about it. They compromise. They learn. But they love each other. Fiercely, completely, without reservation. 1 year after Derek's attack, Josie walks across a stage in a cap and gown, accepting her degree in English literature with honors. Constantine sits in the audience, clapping louder than anyone else, and his smile is brighter than the sun. Afterward, he takes her to dinner at the nicest restaurant in the state, the one that requires reservations 6 months in advance. I'm proud of you, he says over champagne. He can't drink but ordered anyway. You've accomplished so much. We've accomplished so much, she corrects. I couldn't have done any of this without you. You could have. You're stronger than you know. He reaches across the table, takes her hand. But I'm glad I got to be here for it. Got to watch you bloom. So what now? Josie grins. Grad school? Travel? A career in publishing? All of the above, if you want. Constantine's eyes are soft, full of centuries of love finally finding a home. Or something else entirely. The world is open to you, Josie. Every door, every path. You get to choose. And you'll be there? For all of it? For all of it. However long you want me. Josie thinks about the girl she was 2 years ago. Broken, scared, convinced she deserved the pain Derek gave her. And she thinks about the woman she is now. Educated, confident, loved beyond measure. The journey between those two versions of herself has been hard, painful, but worth it. God, so worth it. Forever, she says finally. I want you forever. Constantine goes very still. Are you sure? I'm sure. Ask me again when I'm old and you're still young, and I'll say yes then too. Ask me when I'm dying and ready to let go, and I'll still say yes. She squeezes his hand. You saved me, Constantine. Not just from Derek, from myself, from thinking I was worth so little. You taught me I deserve better, deserve everything. And what I want, what I choose, is you. His eyes go bright with unshed tears. I'll make you happy. I swear it. For however many years we have together, I'll make every day worth living. I know you will. You already do. They finish dinner in comfortable silence, then drive home to the estate that's become hers, as much as his. The guest house sits empty now. She moved into the main house months ago, into Constantine's room, into his life. Her books line his shelves. Her clothes hang in his closet. Her heartbeat echoes through halls that have been silent for too long. That night, wrapped in his arms in the massive bed they share, Josie thinks about everything that led her here. The pain, the fear, the man who tried to break her, the man who helped her become whole. And she thinks about the title of that viral video, the one with millions of views now, the one that made Constantine a legend in certain corners of the internet. The vampire lord saw handprints on her neck. By midnight, 4 men were never seen again. It's not quite accurate. The 4 men are in prison, not disappeared. And Constantine isn't a lord, just a very old vampire with too much money and a protective streak a mile wide. But the important part is true. He saw her bruises. He saw her fear. And he ended it. Completely. Permanently. The way no one else ever had. He gave her justice. He gave her safety. He gave her love. And in the end, that's all any of us really need. Someone who sees us at our worst and chooses us anyway. Someone who will break the world to keep us safe. Someone who believes we're worth saving. Josie is worth saving. She knows that now, and she has forever to prove it.